What's good? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one, man. We coming right back, man, because we got to make sure the algorithm keeps me in the algorithm. You feel me? But yeah, today we're gonna also talk about Donald Trump canceling 85,000 Nigerian visas and the impact on the U.S. immigration. This is crazy, man. I mean, we've seen, Donald Trump's been ramping up. He has really, really taken, a very, very strong stance in making sure that U.S. immigration is put back into a spot that he wants it and his administration wants it. A lot of people voted for Donald Trump specifically for this. Now, I don't know exactly, how it was when it came to what specifically a lot of Africans voted for. I'm not sure. One day, maybe we'll do a deep dive on that. But I do know that when it comes to not only just America and the US, but a lot of different countries have gone out of their way to make sure that they are banning and putting a travel ban on Nigerians in general. So I think it was us, the US, it's Canada, and then it's also the UK. So I don't know exactly what's been going on with, Nigerians and maybe the way that they're moving. I mean, of course, like it's been really, really crazy to kind of see, how quickly this thing has been ramped up. But I mean, hey, this is just kind of how things go in this world. And right now we're in a very, very crazy time in this country. And Nigerians, I don't know, man. Y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta help me understand what's going on, because it seems like, it definitely seems like a lot of people do not want you guys in the countries that you guys are populating. And I'm not sure why. I would love to get more on that. Of course, we've all had our own personal experiences with certain people from certain African countries. And mind you, maybe that's what it is. And then on top of that, there is a huge scamming culture. A lot of, like I mentioned in my last one about the Somalians, right? The Somalians, a lot of scamming, a lot of money being taken, billions of dollars going missing, a lot of that. And so I don't know necessarily what Nigerians have to say about this, but I will say this: you guys better get it together, because Donald Trump is not messing around, man. He is on a war path to make sure that the American people have a specific stance against immigration here. And if you're not here the right way, if you're not going by the right channels, Donald Trump is going to get you up out of here. And that's just what it is. I like I said, I don't know exactly what they know, because the government knows a little bit more than we will. But all I'm saying is, from my personal experience and as well the research that I've done, it's very clear that something's going on. And it's very clear that a lot, not just the US government, but a lot of different governments, Canada and the UK, have a specific problem with Nigerians migrating and coming there. And then as well, they are kicking them out too. All right. So I don't know what's going on, guys, but like I said in my video about the Somalians, all right, they smashing the gas, and some y'all got to do something, because Black Americans, we sitting back, we gonna let it happen. We just, watching, paying attention, making sure things are set on our side. But as far as like the Africans, man, it's a green light on Africans right now, and they not messing around, man. So first, what we gonna do? We're gonna bring up the initial report, right? And then I'm gonna go into some reaction videos, a few people who are speaking on this. We're just gonna go in a full deep dive, because, like I said, it's very interesting to me. I don't know exactly what Nigerians have been doing. Like I said, there was just a TikTok ban on Nigeria because there were some very questionable things that they were doing during their live streams at around a specific time. And we can't speak on exactly what they were doing on YouTube because there's guidelines against that. But y'all need to get it together, man. I don't know what's up, man, but I want people to let me know what y'all think in the chat. What do you guys think is going on, right? So let's first get into here. This is Al Jazeera, okay? And they're speaking on Trump adds 5 countries to the U.S. travel ban list, imposing new restrictions on other countries. Okay, so this is what's going on, guys. This is Al Jazeera.
President Donald Trump is expanding a travel ban to 5 more countries and imposing new limits on others. From January, citizens of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria will be banned from entering the U.S. They join 12 other countries that have been deemed high risk, including Afghanistan, Sudan, and Yemen. The Trump administration has also imposed full restrictions on people with travel documents issued by the Palestinian Authority.
All right, so first let's talk about this. Myron Gaines, Mr. Sudanese. What's going to happen now, brother? All right, your home country is on that list. What's going on in the Sudan? Please help me understand. Please help me understand, Mr. Myron Gaines, who is a straight up coon. All right, what's up with you, bro? What's up with your country? What's up with the Sudan?
Rosalind Jordan has been following the latest developments from Washington, D.C. She joins us now live. Roz, has the Trump administration explained why it's expanding this ban to include these countries?
Well, the U.S. has argued that it has an obligation to protect its citizens from the threat of terrorism, of criminals, of other people who might want to do Americans harm. And so they say one of the most effective ways in their view to do this is to heavily scrutinize the visa applications of people who want to come to the United States, whether it's to work, whether it's to study, whether it's just to come play tourist.
All right. And you know what's crazy is there was just a report that came out where there was a few junctions of people who were actually caught trying to plan a terrorist attack on, in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. And so I think that the FBI as well are colluding with the CIA, and they're understanding that there is a lot of this going on, a lot of planning, a lot of sleeper cells is what they call them, that are here right now who are waiting for an opportunity to do something very drastic to the American people. And I think that's what they mean when they're talking about safety parts, because of course, we've already seen what the Somalians were doing up in Minnesota, stealing billions of dollars, over 20 to 30 billion dollars that are unaccounted for. And they say that that's an estimate. They don't know the exact number, right? So we already see that's what's going on here. So all I'm saying is we're peeping game, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes that these stories aren't really hitting to the top. But like I said, there's a lot going on, and people are definitely on guard when it comes to that FBI, Homeland Security, immigration. They are on it right now because they know and they can see that there is an imminent threat out there right now who could be in this country right now.
But they say that too many countries in the U.S.'s view, or rather the Trump administration's view, do not have the same standards even for establishing basic identity documents for their citizens. And that makes it difficult for U.S. consular officials to figure out who would be acceptable to come to the U.S., who should get a visa. And so essentially what the U.S. is doing is punishing these countries by not allowing their citizens to come to the U.S. at all, because if these countries, in the U.S.'s view, can't document who their own people are, why should the U.S. let these people come into their country?
This is real talk, man. And that's the thing. A lot of the documentation, we already know, a lot of fraudulent documentation, a lot of fraudulent, what do you call those? Like you would say, a lot of people who call themselves doctors, a lot of people call themselves nurses, right? We saw that over in the UK, they had to completely go through every single person who claimed to be a nurse, who was from a Nigerian descent. They had to ban all of those because they had to say that some of them were fraudulent, and most of them were. And that's kind of where we at. A lot of the documentation does not add up. A lot of the documentation doesn't make sense. And a lot of it is fake and scammed. And so a lot of that is why they're making sure, hey, man, we got to vet these people a little bit better. We got to have a more secure immigration policies because they're coming here and they're using fake documentation to get here. All right. And they're not messing around with that. It's getting serious.
That's the basic argument.
And Roz, as we mentioned before, Syria is on this list. It was just last month that you had the Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara visiting the White House. Donald Trump heaped praise on the president of Syria. Is the inclusion of Syria unusual, considering the new ties with Syria's new government?
At first blush, it does look unusual, but if anything, it does show a level of consistency with the Trump administration in saying that because of the more than 12 years of civil war happening in Syria, basically all government institutions broke down, including the ability to issue birth documents, to issue travel documents, to establish a passport that can surpass international muster at border crossings.
Listen, man, this is where we're at. Like, there's a lot of fraudulent behavior, a lot of fraudulent documentation, a lot of lost documents that they're coming over here with no representation of who you are, what you represent, what organization you're a part of, what's your real name, who are you coming from? And that's a part of it. Like I said, the sleeper cell aspect, right? Them being on alert about there will be a terrorist attack in Los Angeles. They're planning terrorist attacks for the New Year's Eve. Oh, yeah. Right now, they're not messing around, because what they're seeing is there's a lot of that happening, right? Where people are coming here and they're planning stuff. They're trying to, attack U.S. Citizens. Yeah, Trump ain't messing around with that. Trump is being very serious about his stance on immigration. And like she said, he's keeping the same energy. Right? He's being consistent in the fact that he's not discriminating. If you do any BS or you have done any BS, you have a history of it, he's saying he's going to get you up out of here or you can't come here. Right? That's just how it is
around the world. And so the U.S. is saying that Syrian citizens, because they don't have documents that meet these standards, for the time being, cannot come to the United States. But it is worth pointing out that the U.S., not just in the case of Syria, but in the case of other countries as well, although it's not clear that this includes the Palestinian Authority, which is also affected by this new expansion on the travel restrictions. The U.S. is supposed to be working with these countries to improve their systems, the way they document births, the way they handle identity documents, the way they issue passports, the way that they process all of the information that could help U.S. consular officials vet people applying for visas to come here. There's no point, in the U.S.'s view, to ban countries' citizens from coming to the U.S. unless they're trying to help these countries do a better job of verifying who their own citizens are in the.
That's it. That's it. You have to be documented. You have to do it the right way, or they will not allow you to come here. And that's just the facts. All right. If you are not doing things the right way, if you are not going about things the right way, you will not stay here. All right. And mind you, like I said, Trump has been keeping the same energy. It's not just Africans. All right. He's done it to the Mexicans. He's doing it to Asians. All right. He's doing it to specific groups. All right. And mind you, I don't know what's going on with the Europeans, but he's leaving the Europeans alone. Of course, you wouldn't know why. But that's what we're seeing right now, right? We're seeing a brush of the same actual energy. If you do BS, if you're on BS, if you can't specifically tell us who you are, where you come from, and have documentation of that, he will get you up out of here. And mind you, ICE is not, they're not showing any mercy. They throwing people all over. They snatching people up in the cars, mask on, vans. They not messing around, man. And y'all better wake up and stop playing, because I've been seeing a lot of people who are being very, very defiant, right, in their approach to saying what's going on. Don't do it on social media, family, because they're going to find you.
The first place.
All right. That's Al Jazeera's Rosalind Jordan, live for us in Washington, D.C. Roz, thanks so much for breaking that all down for us.
Crazy.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for
subscribe to Al Jazeera. But yeah, man, now we're going to bring up some actual reactions to this, because that's what we do over here at Elite Media. You know what I'm saying? We got to get the people's reactions. And mind you, like I said, this is all happening in real time, right? We as Black Americans have told y'all what's going on. We let y'all know, hey man, if y'all don't get it together, y'all better be careful. And y'all didn't listen to Black Americans. Y'all thought y'all knew everything. Y'all thought y'all was so smart. Y'all thought that y'all knew everything. Y'all thought that everybody was just lying. Y'all thought that we was just going out of our way to, create some level of anxiety against y'all, saying that we hating on y'all, all this other stuff. Now look, I told you guys that this was going to happen, and I made it pretty clear to everyone who wouldn't listen, right? If you guys do not listen to us and take heed, because mind you, nobody knows these people better than Black Americans. We've spent over 400 years studying them, understanding them, living with them, being a part of the system. And y'all chose to not listen to somebody that with that much expertise and experience. Y'all chose that. Y'all chose to not listen to us. So now you're going to have to hold the L. You're going to have to understand and feel it on your own, because Black Americans, our hands are tied right now. We have to focus on what we got going on. We got to focus and stay locked in, because we understand what's at stake and how quickly things can change, because we've been there. We were the ones for so many years being talked down on, being targeted, being swept up, just like the ISIS doing y'all. Paddy wagons and all that stuff was happening in the hood before any of y'all even got here. Okay? We already had seen them riding through. All right. But y'all thought that y'all knew so much. You think you're so freaking smart. And now look, unfortunately, you're going to have to be the scapegoat. Right. So let's see. We got a young sister here. I think she's of Nigerian descent. She says Trump's Nigerian Christian care plan didn't cover visas. Clearly. I mean, obviously, what did you guys think? You think because you're Christian like them that you guys are the same? They don't care about that. Black Americans are a part of the same religion as these people, and they still treat us like crap. All right. We actually built churches, helped them understand how to praise the Most High. And you already see how they treated us. So what would make you think that you that special? Because he used it for propaganda. He wasn't going over there to help them Christians. The U.S. government has other opportunities and things they want to do over there in Nigeria. And y'all thought because he spoke about the Nigerian Christian crisis that it was going to be some sort of sympathetic empathy towards you guys. And now y'all got to understand that that's not how this works. Let's listen to her.
Favor towards Nigerians was short-lived, wasn't it? I mean, can you imagine? America just cancelled 85,000 visas in total, tens of thousands of which were Nigerian visa holders, right? Who are now barred from entry. And whilst they weren't citizens, they were people who thought their visa made them safe.
It's just a visa. It's just a visa. Okay. You are not a citizen. You do not have citizenship or a green card. So naturally, if there is something going on politically that they feel is there an imminent threat, they will snatch said visas. That is a part of what they do here. All right. You guys talked about Black Americans don't deserve reparations, right? And I showed you guys in these last couple of videos about how they took that from us, how they were given land already, how we already had contracts to the land, how we already had signed deeds for specific land, and they took that away from us. Do you think a piece of paper, a visa, would keep you safe in a place where people do this all the time, where people go against their word all the time? Y'all thought that you were so smart. You thought you were so special. And now look.
They got no warning, no refund, no appeal. This included students, parents, skilled workers, Christians. Yeah, I said it. The same group who he claimed to care so much about just cut off.
Family, I just want you guys to understand that that does not mean anything to the oppressor. All right. What they do not care. Religion is not specifically their mindset. OK, it is just a base for them to make themselves look righteous. But in reality, we understand the death and destruction that they did behind Christianity, behind religion. So you guys need to understand history. And that's why on my channel, I always try to bring receipts and make sure that I'm speaking from historical standpoints. I'm not just on here talking. I try to bring as much historical standpoints as I can so that you guys can understand that they do not care about that. They don't think that way. Okay, it is just a part of them to hold a certain virtue upon you guys, but in reality, they do not care. All they care about is the pushing of their own. Okay, they don't care about y'all, but y'all thought that we was lying. Y'all thought that we was being extra. You guys thought that we was just talking. And now that you guys are starting to see it firsthand, now we're starting to see that you guys really just don't listen. And what does they say? A hard head makes for a soft behind. All right. Y'all was so hard-headed. Y'all thought that Black Americans was just talking. Y'all thought that Black Americans was just being emotional, right? When we have experience with these people, we've lived next to these people. We've watched every single tragedy from these people, what they did to us. So what would you think that we wouldn't have some level of understanding and experience to say, hey, guys, you guys need to do this. Hey, guys, you probably should align with us because I'm telling you, when it comes down, push comes to shove, you guys are not going to be on their side. And you guys didn't listen. You guys chose to align with your oppressor, and now he's pressing the gas on you. And now it's supposed to be Black Americans who's supposed to come to the aid. It's Black Americans who's supposed to stake. Come on, man. Y'all crazy. This is not going to happen. Lineation couldn't have come at a better time. All right. The Most High is doing this for Black Americans because it was something for us. We done put ourselves out there so many times. We done wanted so much approval from people who do not care about us, who do not want to see us grow, who do not care about the overall betterment of our culture. So then what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I want you guys to let me know what y'all think Black Americans are supposed to do in this scenario. Please help me understand what we supposed to do now. After we already warned y'all, after we already told y'all what's going to happen, after we already made it clear, hey, man, y'all better be careful because the enemy, he don't play them type of games. He don't play fair. He doesn't play fair. And y'all didn't listen. He does not play fair. The same rules that y'all try to act like you live by, he doesn't live by the same rules because he doesn't have to. No one holds these people accountable like Black Americans hold these people accountable. And y'all thought that we was just jiving. Y'all thought that we was just talking. Y'all thought that we was just out here on some BS. Unfortunately, y'all have to hold this L. It's on y'all now because we tried to warn you. Black Americans went out of our way to make sure that you guys could understand what was happening, and you chose not to listen. A hard head makes for a soft behind.
And it wasn't just Nigerians, right? Other African and Caribbean nationals are facing similar restrictions. Places like Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, whole countries, including Cuba, Venezuela, and many others, right?
Sudan. Hey, Myron Gaines, where you at? Myron Gaines, where you at, bro? Yo spot, yo people, they got to get up out of here. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's you, mister. Maybe that's you. All right. Maybe the anchor babies and birthright citizenship, which they're trying to scare us off of, it's coming for y'all. All right, Mr. Myron Gaines, your people, they're on notice.
Getting shut out quietly. The US said it was about security, criminal offences, visa overstays, suspected threats. But some say that this is about tightening who gets in and who gets kept out. Beyond just safety, right? The US is picking who stays in the room.
It is about safety. I just mentioned that it is about safety because there's terrorist threats being put on American people based on what? Different entities. Some is for the backing of the Palestinian people, right? Others is terrorist organizations, right? We already saw that there could be a connection between the Somalian money that was coming from Somalia and going from Minnesota to Somalia, having a small connection to terrorist groups over there, right? So it is about safety, because if money is coming from the American people, the taxpayers, and it's going over to terrorist groups and organizations, what do you think that is? You don't think that's national security problems? You don't think that is a national security issue? That is. It is very, very serious. And if you're not down, you're cooked.
And I guess we're always first to go anyway, aren't we? And what makes it worse, right? Some of the same Nigerians in the diaspora who campaigned for Trump, called him uncle, and now watching their own uncle get kicked out. And it's not just visas, right? The US has also tightened its travel ban system. Nigeria is now on the list for partial entry. That means that travelers can be barred from entering even before a visa is issued. Well,
of course. And we told y'all this was going to happen. We told you guys what was next, and y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all wanted to act like, oh, it was just Black Americans. We just talking. We're just over here creating some division. We're over here trying to create hate on you guys when we were trying to warn you. We were trying to let you know, hey, don't vote for Trump, because if you do, he's going to send you back. He don't want y'all here. And y'all didn't listen. And now that's exactly what he's doing. He is sweeping up everybody, regardless if you was a Nigerian, an African, a Mexican, and Asians. All right. If you voted for Trump and you were a part of those immigrant groups, you're cooked, because you voted for your own demise. You voted for your own downfall, when you should have been aligning with Black Americans and saying, you know what? You guys are right. I see what's happening, and I need to make sure that I'm on the right side of history. Now that you guys are not, it is now becoming a green light on y'all. And unfortunately, Black Americans are not going to get in the way of this. We have enough things that we have to worry about as a people. And y'all told us to clean up our community. Y'all told us we need to unite. Y'all told us that we have to do this or that. Okay, well, guess what? We about to start doing that now. We about to start promoting ourselves. We about to start supporting Black American businesses. We're about to start patronizing only Black American businesses. And we are going to ban all businesses that are part of the immigration class who voted against their own interests. We're done. And y'all didn't listen. Unfortunately, too bad, so sad.
Fall under a really narrow scope of
Make sure you like and subscribe, man.
So what's the lesson here? First and foremost, I would always say try to build a home where possible, right? I know it's not always realistic, not with these currencies,
You're done.
not with these governments, these living costs. So if you're going to apply to travel, do it with strategy, right? Not just hope. Look for countries that offer a real path to residency, not just a 2-year visa.
It's going to be hard for the countries that y'all want to patronize, for the country that y'all want to be in. You guys have already burned bridges. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand. The damage is already done. A lot of people are already done with you guys, because you guys had so much time to be able to go to these countries, to be able to make an actual good representation of yourselves. And you didn't. You came over here with these arrogant attitudes. You came over here acting like you're better than Black Americans. You came over here acting like you're better than a lot of people. And a lot of people peeped that. And they said, you know what? We don't like that attitude. We don't like the fact that you guys are coming over here taking up resources. We don't like the fact that you guys are coming over here and scamming. We don't like the fact that you guys are coming over here and not contributing to the betterment of the American people. All you guys are doing is taking. And that's not going to work. That's not going to work in any relationship. Any relationship where all you do is take and never give, you will be cut. All right. Any girl who I invested in and she didn't put nothing in the back of me, she was getting cut. And everybody know that. I run a very tight program. So if you on that BS, you getting cut. And mind you, this is what happens in any relationship, friendships, family members, romantic relationships. If all you're doing is taking, your ass is getting cut. Ain't nobody got enough to just be given to y'all all the time, and y'all ain't giving back nothing. All right. So when that happens, it's a wrap for y'all. It's too late. It's too late. You guys are talking about, oh, try to choose countries that, no, it's over for y'all. There's too many. The damage has been done. There's too much negative propaganda out there about you guys. Y'all talk about the negative propaganda of Black Americans, but guess what? We continue to elevate and push out of those stereotypes. We go out of our way to make sure that we change the narratives. We go out of our way to show that we are worthy. All right. We go out of our way to stand on business. Y'all got to hold the L because y'all didn't do what you were supposed to when you had the opportunities to, like aligning with Black Americans, right? When you come over here, not trying to talk down on Black Americans, it's too late. Too bad, so sad.
And a pat on the head. Ghana, Barbados, Portugal, if it fits your situation, right? Rwanda, Mauritius, build a long-term plan, not a getaway plan. And if you're already abroad, try not to move like a visitor. Move like someone building their future, right? That means legal routes, the kind that protects you when things flip, right? That could be a second.
It's too late, man. Y'all wasn't thinking clearly. Y'all thought that it was all good. Y'all thought that y'all had it all good. And that's what I see. I see the arrogance. I see the level of arrogance that everybody thinks that things will always be how they are. And like I said, every 4 years, there's a shift, especially in the United States. Every new president brings a new regime. And mind you, sure, you know, Biden was here for the 8 years and y'all thought it was all good, right? Y'all was loving it. Now things change, right? Things change. And now y'all got to hold the L because there is no safety net. The Black American safety net that we give all immigrants, that so many immigrants have lived off and been able to benefit from, it's done. It's over. There's no more safety net. You're going to have to hold your own nuts. Because if you don't, it's over. You got to hold your own nuts right now. And if you don't, go home.
Passport.
Go home.
That is, or regional.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe, man.
Study to stay programs, remote income that isn't tied to location, whatever gives you like any atom of actual security, not just a stamp. Guys, in this economy, plan Bs aren't luxuries anymore. They're lifelines because the visa gets you in, but it won't keep you safe. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this?
It's over. It's over.
December 16, 2025. Let's talk about this major breaking news. And this is coming from the President of America, President Donald Trump, as he has given a directive for the suspension of the issuance of B1, B2 visa, student visa, which is the F and M visa, and also the exchange visa, which is the J visa.
Now, look, a lot of those visas, people are overstaying their visa time zone. And that's also a part of this. If you are here and it says you're supposed to only be here for the time that you're supposed to, you better be on that. Because otherwise, if it's expired, if you're here too long, they're getting y'all up out of here. That's just what it is. If you guys are not abiding by the rules, okay? Everybody always tells Black Americans, y'all just abide by the rules and you guys wouldn't have so many troubles. If you guys just, if you guys just accepted what the police are doing, don't resist, you guys wouldn't be getting killed in the streets. Well, guess what? If you guys abide by the rules of your visa time zone, you wouldn't be in the predicament you were in today. But you didn't. And now look, it's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate.
And according to reports, this is due to the fact that there is high level of insecurity.
All right, so look, I'm going to read this. It says, Nigeria, radical Islamic terrorist groups such as Boko Haram and the Islamic State operate freely in certain parts of Nigeria, which creates substantial screening and vetting difficulties. According to the overstay report, Nigeria had a B1, B2 visa overstay rate of 5.56% and an F and M and J visa overstay of over 11.9%. That's more than 12% of those people who have those visas are overstaying the visa. The entry into the United States of nationals of Nigeria as immigrants and non-immigrants on B1, B2, and B1, B2s, FM, and J visas is hereby suspended. Consular officers shall reduce the validity for any other non-immigrant visa issued to nationals or Nigeria to the extent and permitted by law. This is it. It's a wrap. All right. Y'all overstayed your visas because what they're saying is there is a direct connection and imminent threat from the Islamic group Boko Haram in Nigeria. Okay. And they are very concerned about this, right? Because, like I said, there was already a terrorist threat that was foiled that was supposed to happen right here in LA on New Year's Eve. They were planning it. Okay. So when I'm looking at that type of stuff, when I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh, okay, well, look, man, there's something going on. Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
In Nigeria, the Boko Haram and the Islamic State operating freely in certain parts of Nigeria. As you all know, what has been going on between the US and Nigeria lately. And we saw President Trump, put Nigeria as a country of particular concern a couple of weeks ago because of the high level of insecurity. And right now, and also visa overstay. So according to the report from the White House, Nigeria has a total of 5.56% as regards B1, B2 visa. Why for
Listen, man, this is a part of it. The overstaying of those visas, people not respecting the laws, people not respecting the actual factuals. Well, guess what? It's a wrap for y'all. You're going to have to hold up that line. You're going to have to be on point. You're going to have to do what you say you do, because otherwise they're going to get you guys up out of here. And they're not messing around with that. Clearly, Trump, it hasn't even been a year since he's been in office. And we already see the damage and destruction that he's put across this country. All right. So now that when I'm looking at it from that perspective, I'm like, crap, man. Hey, this is what it is. And we told y'all, we tried to warn you. Black Americans tried to warn you guys. And that's just not what happened, man. It's not. Y'all lost it. And so let's listen. Let's listen to the next brother who has something to say about this as well.
As regards insecurity.
Breaking news here. The worst is happening to Nigeria. Africa is in a mess. I don't know what's going on, but what I know is America is rejecting Nigeria. Canada has rejected Nigeria. UK has rejected Nigerians. And even some country in Africa, they are pushing back on Nigerians.
Like I told y'all, man, it's not just America. This is something that's going global. And like I said, I don't know what Nigerians are on. I don't know what y'all are doing. Like I have a lot of friends who are Nigerians, okay? And unfortunately, they people is not moving how they're supposed to move. And we ain't the only ones who are seeing it. We're not the only ones who are implementing these type of, implications and policies. It's worldwide. A lot of people, even countries in Africa have a problem with what's going on with the Nigerians immigrating into their country. And like I said, it's an attitude thing. It's a respect thing. Okay. It's also a national security thing. Right? So if we don't have any of those, y'all coming in here, y'all being arrogant, you're not treating people the right way, you're also taking up resources and scamming. And then on top of that, there's a safety concern. Oh, nah, that's going to get a quick response, a very, very aggressive response to what is going on and why a lot of countries, not only just the US, but other countries are saying, no, we're not allowing Nigerians to come here anymore. And if they're here, we're trying to get them out. What is that? Y'all got to help me understand what that is. And please let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, because this is where we're at right now. Straight up.
A few months ago, or about a few weeks ago, I warned the consequences of what Canada just did to Nigeria. Visa restriction on Nigerians, travel restriction on Nigerians, and some other part of Africa. When it happens to one, it happens to all. Africa must wake up. Nigeria must wake up.
I told you guys it might be too late, man, because there's a lot of countries who have dealt with Nigerians and Africans for a very long time, and they have a lot of research and a lot of things that back up their stances to say no more, right? We just talked about the Somalians, right? We just talked about what was going on in Minnesota. We were just talking about the connection of that taxpayer money being funded and going over to different factions in Somalia that have direct connections to terrorist organizations. We just saw them talk about Boko Haram in Nigeria and why that is a safety concern and national security concern for the U.S. government. And then on top of that, we're also still dealing with terrorist threats that we just caught here in Los Angeles about this. All right. All these things that are happening all at once. It's not just, oh, we're just singling out Nigerians. No, there's research and there's also people who are doing investigations on this stuff. And then this is the result of said investigations. All right. People aren't just pulling this out their butt. All right. They're actually doing the research and investigating to say, hey, man, we don't like this. Let's make sure that this doesn't happen again. And mind you, like I said, there are people who are still smug about it. There are people who are still doing their due diligence to talk crazy to not only Black Americans, but to the American people at large. I saw a Somalian talking about that taxpayers work for him because he's on welfare. And y'all better get him his welfare. And y'all better get him his benefits. This is the mindset that literally infuriates these people. And we tried to tell you guys, I said this, Black Americans, we tried to warn you guys about what was going to happen if you didn't listen. And you chose to not listen. You chose to go out of your way and disrespect us. You chose to go out of your way and scam the American people, the taxpayers who work hard every single day. All right. I am a tax-paying citizen. I am a civilian. I do not partake in anything that is illegal. All right. I come from a family of law enforcement. I come from a family of actual people who have served this community. All right. I come from a family of actual servicemen who are in the military. OK, we have a direct line to this country. We have blood, sweat, and tears in this country. Why would I go out of my way to disenfranchise those who I can see are disenfranchised as well? All right. Like I said, my family runs a food bank right here in Long Beach. We actually have one happening this Saturday. If you are in Long Beach, we will be giving out food for Christmas. All right. For families who are in need. 1140 East New York Street, Long Beach, California. Okay. If you are in need, please come down. We will help you. All right. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are not connected to this and they think that they can come here and do this to people. I see this with my own eyes. People struggling every single day to get by. People who are working 1, 2, 3, and 4 jobs. All right. And y'all talk about Black Americans don't work hard. Y'all talk about that Black Americans aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. No, Black Americans are holding up the community. Black Americans are holding up the economy, right? Black Americans are the ones who are actually putting in the work. And so when we see you guys being smug, talking down on us, stealing resources from the American people, oh, no, buddy. We're not going to get in the way of that. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. If y'all got a problem with it, hit the streets. Y'all got a problem with it, do something about it. Because guess what? Black Americans, if there's a problem, we handle it. We stand on business. If there's something going wrong, if there's injustices, we're going to speak on it. We're going to do what we got to do to get ours, right? And the next thing is getting reparations. That's the next phase. And when we get that, I can guarantee you there's going to be so much hate. You ain't never seen no hate when you see Black Americans get these reparations. Watch.
Nigeria is
Look at this dude.
So recently, about a few days ago, I received the news and I was as I was just reading through the internet, and I make a few phone calls and realized that the US Embassy in Nigeria is canceling visas.
Ain't messing around, man. There's no incentive, right, for the U.S. Embassy to help Nigerians, to help Nigerians in any way, especially with the attitude and the history that you guys have shown here in America. And like I said, not only here, Canada, the UK, and also in Africa over there where you're at. Okay? They have a bad reputation right now. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, I have a lot of Nigerian friends. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, there is a reputation that you guys are holding up right now, and you're not making it hard for people to say, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with this. You know what? We good. You know what? We're going to stay out of this because guess what? Black Americans, we have been the ones who put our neck out on the line for so many other minority groups. And what thanks do we get? All we get is talked down upon. All we get is called lazy. All we get is stereotypes. Okay? That's all we get. We get nothing from it. No benefits at all. So guess what? Black Americans say, you know what? We good. We're going to delineate. We're going to worry about ourselves. We're going to make sure that we focus on ourselves. We're going to put all that energy that we are putting out back into us. And guess what? All I see is Black Americans growing within this time. All I see is them taking opportunities that we didn't get before. Now it's up. All right. I just saw right here in California, over 16,000 CDL licenses being revoked. Okay. CDL licenses for people who are illegal, who should not be here, and who got those CDLs illegally. All right. And now we're starting to see crashes. We're starting to see people who are in danger. And they said, hold up, we're going to have to pull all those. And mind you, now it's starting to go nationwide. A lot of different states now are looking at these CDL licenses. They're looking at these drivers and they're saying, hold up. Something's wrong. We don't like this. People are getting killed. There's a lot of crashes happening. There's a lot of people who don't respect the laws. There's a lot of people who don't respect the roads. There's a lot of people who don't respect Americans. And so now we got to go ahead and recalibrate the entire industry. And look, this is where we at now, unfortunately.
Business visa, private visa, student visas. So what it means is, after you have been given a visa and you have probably booked your flight, the embassy will call you and they will cancel your visa. And for those that have traveled, as you are landing in the United States, you are returned back to Nigeria. This is a mess.
Hey, man, this is what happens when you don't respect the laws. This is what happens when you don't respect the American people. This is what happens when you don't respect the actual foundation that Black Americans built for y'all. We gave everybody a platform that they could bounce and be able to grow from, and we weren't even able to benefit from it. All these business grants that people are given, all this money that they're given to live in homes, all this free money and things that they're able to have based on what? The blood, sweat, and tears of Black Americans, what we did here, how we were able to create all these systems for y'all to come over here with the understanding that, hey, man, if y'all come here, y'all can align with us and then we can be all as one as Black folks. And then we could go ahead and make sure that everybody's taken care of. But y'all didn't want that. Y'all didn't want to be that. Y'all are Nigerian. You're not Black, right? All right, bet. Cool. You're not Black. All right, fine, man. I don't know what to say now, though, because now y'all want to be Black people. Now y'all want to say, what's up, Black Americans? Why y'all not out here? I done heard too many videos from all types of immigrant communities talking about why the Black Americans ain't out there helping, why the Black Americans ain't doing what they supposed to do to help us. When in reality, if the roles were reversed, we've never seen it. All right. Black Americans have always been the ones who have been helping and being able to go out here and try to make sure that we're creating alliances with people who we thought were on the same side as us just because they look like us. And unfortunately, that's not what they wanted. All right? That's not what they wanted. We tried, okay? For many generations, okay? Black Americans have tried to bridge that gap. We tried to bridge that gap. And y'all didn't allow it. You didn't want that. Okay, you're not black, you're Nigerian. All right, now hold that. Hold your nuts. Okay? Hold your nuts. Good luck. You feel me?
This is a mess. Some folks are on the internet. They are laughing about this. They are joking about it. But let me draw our attention to something. If you don't put your house in order, you can be rejected by anybody from anywhere at any time without prior notice.
That's just what it is, man. And that's what happens when you guys are not being genuine, when you are not understanding the landscape, and when you don't listen. A hard head makes for a soft behind. If you do not listen, Black Americans told y'all, look, guys, the enemy, he don't play fair. You need to align with us because when it goes down, you're going to need us more than we need you. Okay? Black Americans, we have a system when it comes to this type of stuff, injustices, problems in our community, things that we want to establish, things that we want to change. We have a system behind that. You guys could have got behind that, but you didn't choose to. You wanted to be on your own. You wanted to align with them. You wanted to be their little pet, their little dog. You know what I'm saying? They give you a little pat on the head, and y'all love that. But guess what? Now it's going to work in reverse. Now they don't care. The gloves are off. The mask is off. Okay? And this is who we know. This is who we've known for centuries. Okay? We know who you guys are seeing barely today. Oh my God, this is so shocking. No, it's not. I'm not shocked at all. None of this surprises me. Okay? It surprises me that you guys didn't align with Black Americans. That's surprising, right? Because the way that you guys want to compete, right? The way that you guys want to, look down on us, the way that you guys want to say that you are not aligned with Black Americans, then fine, dude. Good luck, man. I hope it works out for you guys because Black Americans, we can't do nothing else. What else are we supposed to do? What else are Black Americans supposed to do? Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think because I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do. And I personally, I'm not even trying to figure it out. All right. Because right now, this is the time for Black Americans to put and pour into ourselves. And that's what is going on. We are looking at the landscape. We're paying attention. We're using our platforms to grow. We're using our platforms to speak out against certain things that we want to speak on. But in reality, the delineation movement is about just Black Americans. We are focused on us. We want the best for us. We do not have time for anybody else's BS. All we want to do is try our best to grow our community, to grow what we're doing, and to be able to build during this tumultuous time in America. You feel me? Because like always, Black Americans, we're builders. So even underneath the most dire circumstances, our ancestors were literally under slavery. And they still found ways to build. They still found ways to build. They still found ways to communicate. They still found ways to pour into one another, create community, create unity. All right. We have influenced the entire world just based on our experiences and the things that we went through. How could you guys not get behind that? It's crazy to me because now look. When you don't align yourselves, when you don't do the right things, history will tell you guys what's going to happen. And it's hilarious, man, because I told you guys off top this was going to happen. I was out here, okay, doing the work. And now looking back, I'm like, man, this is crazy, but it's not surprising at all.
Few months ago, I made a presentation here that says, no matter how rich you are, how successful you are as an individual, as long as you are an African, Black race, not until Africa is fixed, not until Nigeria is fixed, not until your country is fixed, not until we collectively succeed together, you have no foundation anywhere in the world.
Black Americans showed you guys the blueprint. All right. Y'all want to build? Go to Africa and build. You guys say how great Africa is and all these things about we know where we're from and all this stuff. Okay, go back and build your communities. Go back and build the foundation that we built here. Okay, foundational Black Americans means exactly that. Foundational. We've built the foundation of everything else that everyone benefits from as an American, right? And so when he's speaking on that, I agree. Nigerians need to go build Nigeria. Nigerians need to go figure out what's going on over there and get locked in and figure it out. Clean it up. Right? They always talk about Black American communities, clean up the Black American community. Well, guess what? Time for y'all too. It's y'all turn now. It's time for y'all to go clean up your community, to go clean up your country. All right? To work with your other fellow Nigerians and figure out what is going on. Why are so many countries not okay with you guys being there? Like I said, the United States, the UK, Canada, and even Europe. Okay? Places in Sweden are kicking you guys out. All right? Denmark, they're kicking you guys out. All right? So how does that make sense that if everywhere else is saying, hey guys, y'all got to dip. We don't want you guys here. You guys are doing too much. We done found too many things going on, all based on what? Research. They're not just attacking you guys out of nowhere, man. The scamming, the disrespect, the arrogant attitude, that ain't going to help you get along anywhere. And mind you, Black Americans were still trying to accept y'all. We were still trying to work with y'all. And y'all still at every turn found a way to make it clear that you guys do not align with us and we're not the same. Okay, bet. Fine. Good luck. It's been real. Thank you so much. But what can we do now? If everything you guys are saying is true, right? We don't know who we are. We don't do this. We don't do that. All right, let us figure out then. We're going to figure out who we are then. And once we figure that out, then, maybe we could, get back around to y'all. But hey, let us do that then. Fine. Cool. But guess what? That's not what's happening now. It's too late. It's too late.
You have no relevance anywhere in the world. All this visa cancellation is not because these people don't have money. So in other words, money has failed. And I told us here that a time will come where money will fail. Your influence will fail. Your political position will fail. Every other thing will fail. The only thing that Africa needs to do is to build Africa.
That's it. That's it. That is the goal. The only way is through, right? And so if you guys just focus on getting yourselves together in Africa, right? You maybe could figure out what's happening, why you guys are the way that you are in all these other countries, and why all these other countries are rejecting your visas, telling you to go back home. What's going on, guys? I need to know, because that's what that tells me. It tells me that it ain't just us who feel that way. It's a lot of people who have seen and who have experienced what is going on. And they're saying, you know what? We don't want this in our country. So you guys have to go. Unfortunately, right? And this is just the reality of it, right? Because on this channel, all we're going to do is speak in facts in real life, real talk. And the real talk is like this brother saying right here. The only way that you guys will be able to achieve what you guys want is by putting back into Africa, right? And that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people who necessarily don't feel that way, but it's too late, man. So let's listen to another brother who is speaking on the same topic. He looks definitely Nigerian himself or some level of African. So yeah, let's hear him.
Nigerians. When Donald Trump says Nigeria is a country of a particular concern, it truly means what he was saying. Now he has put a ban on Nigeria. Not only Nigeria, it includes a lot of African countries, mostly the African countries. He put a ban on many countries. All right. We know that, okay, Nigeria has been on partial ban before now, but now he has put a permanent ban until maybe further notice before they go feel remove some certain things. This ban includes so many people, including government officials. He banned, including even people who want to go study. He said no.
Even government officials of Nigeria are a part of the ban. That's what he's saying, right? And that speaks to something, right? The connection and also the respect level. If your own government nationals are not being able to travel freely to America, that tells me something about that. And like I said, Trump don't care, all right? He don't care about none of that. You could be the president of Nigeria. If he don't like you, you got to get up out of here, period.
You can't come. So because when you come to study, now they do carry way to get to a result. Now they forge. He said people when they come for holiday, they know they agree go back. Some their visa go finish, self, they no go agree go back, and some go back late. So he put a ban on that one too.
I gotta put
even people that want
man,
to come and do business in America, he said no, you cannot come. Did you see that? They said we'll put help fix our country. We don't want to do it. Look at the things that are going on. If our country is good, why should people be running to America every day? And when
that part, if the country is so good, why should people be running to America every day? That is the question that Black Americans have been speaking and asking since we started delineating, right? Every single time people saying, why are Black Americans being so hateful and blah, 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 blah. But then at every turn, y'all would tell us about how beautiful your country is and how much you guys know your grandparents and your great grandparents, and we know our lineage and all this stuff. Okay, well, if Africa's so great, why are you not there? Right? Why are you not in Africa? If this is so great, if everything is so amazing, why are you not in Africa? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it sucks. Because you want to know why it sucks? Because you guys aren't building it. You guys are choosing to go everywhere else instead of building up your own country. That's why. You guys could have a much better scenario and situation if you guys stayed there and stayed in the pocket and built up what is there for you guys, right? All the resources that you guys talk about and how everybody uses you guys, how China is over there colonizing you guys, how the French is over there colonizing you guys, all these people, the Netherlands. All right, so then what's going on? Why are you guys not doing what you're supposed to in Nigeria to be able to build it into the super like the Black Americans did for the United States? The Black American built the United States into a superpower, okay? And mind you, that was off of our blood, okay? Who was the ones fighting the wars? Who was the ones on the front lines pushing the narrative for United States? It was Black Americans. We were the equalizer. We were the ones who took it over to the next level. We went out there, fought hard, came back and was able to go and build even more. All right. So what you guys need to do is go and build it up into a superpower, just like Black Americans. And until y'all do that, don't you guys come on here talking about what Black Americans have done when we have built this country into a superpower, one of the richest, most valuable countries in the world in history. Black Americans did that, all right, for free, okay, on the backs of us, all right, carrying this shit.
you get there, you know, go come back. What is the issue? Now, Donald Trump don't put eyes on us. What are his reasons? He gave plenty reasons. So he talks, say, we get ISWA for our country, we get Boko Haram. So they don't know if people they come into America, they don't even know who be who.
All right. He just spoke on that. They come into this country not knowing who is who, and as well, their connections to Boko Haram. He said that, right? And that's why I made it clear the national security aspect is a big component of this. There is a national security aspect that you guys are willingly ignoring, right? And so if you're going to ignore that, fine, cool. But all I have to say is, hey, man, you better be careful. You better be careful, because that's why they are banning Nigerians from coming here. All right, because they don't know who y'all are. There's no real documentation. Y'all could be scamming, all types of stuff. They don't want that here.
So they want to save their country. They want to safeguard their country, as we no one safeguard our own. All right. What we are getting from the political leaders is for them to say, oh, now our party they lead now. People are joining our party. We are the fastest growing party in Africa. That's all they can tell us. They are doing nothing to save us from all this embarrassment coming from the Western countries. For how long are we going to continue like this? 2027 is here. People come out and choose a good leader. Some people go still they talk.
I think he meant 2026, but but yes, it's a new year. It's going to be a new day. And on January 1st, all this stuff starts to ramp up. And y'all better be ready, because like I said, there is no connection. There's no real, hey, yo, we're going to do this. We're going to stand. No, nobody's going to be there, man. It's just going to be Black Americans standing on Black American business. That's it. Straight up.
May God help us as citizens, and may God continue to protect the world. Peace.
They say your visa was approved, but imagine showing up to the airport and it's suddenly revoked with no warning or no explanation. That's what's happening right now to Nigerians. The U.S. Embassy has started quietly canceling visas that have already been issued. People are finding out last minute at boarding gates.
I told you guys the other day when we did the live stream about the 40 acres and a mule that Black Americans had contracts. Black Americans were already living on the land. Black Americans had already started to build communities on the land that was given to them from the U.S. government. Once the President Johnson reneged on that, all that went away in an instant. So the fact that they can be, like I said, so lost and totally not understanding of history is so disrespectful to me, because this is a part of what Black Americans tried to warn y'all about. We tried to tell you guys who the enemy was and how the enemy moves. He does not care about anything that you guys are doing. He will do whatever he wants at any moment and take it away from you in an instant. And y'all chose not to listen. Based on what? Experience. People who have been through this. Our ancestors went through this on a daily, being told, hey, man, you're free, and then getting lynched the next day. All right? Hey, man, you can leave, and then somebody in one of those little faction groups rounding y'all up and hanging y'all up from trees. That's what we went through, right? So we're talking about a guy who's saying, oh, people were at the airport and their visas got canceled. Too fucking bad. All right. In comparison to what we've been through, in comparison to the promises that have been broken from us, and y'all didn't do any history on this. Y'all didn't study any of this. Y'all didn't have any type of inkling to think, hey, man, I don't know if it's all good like I think it is, because it's not. It's never all good like you guys think it is, okay? Every single turn, the Black Americans have dealt with this enemy, telling them one thing and then doing another. And y'all chose not to listen. We told you guys how these people move. They do not keep their promises, and y'all chose not to listen. And now you're upset because you guys had a visa and you got your ticket to go to America, and they said no. Okay, guess what? We tried to warn you and you didn't listen. So You're going to have to learn the hard way. Like I continue to say, a hard head makes for a soft behind. If you guys want to be hard-headed and you want to be ignorant to the history of these people, then that's on you. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you already know. You know what I'm saying? George W. had a funny quote with that, but if you fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. And that's facts. That's facts. All right? You cannot continue to play this stupid role that you don't know what's happening here, that you don't know who the enemy is, and that you don't know that they don't keep their promises. Okay? You should have known by history. If you ever studied history of Black Americans, you would understand that is a history of broken promises. That is a history of broken contracts. That is a history of them saying one thing and doing another, right? No, bro. Ain't nobody finna feel sorry for y'all. What you mean? You don't study history, bro? You don't study history at all? You don't understand the history of Black Americans and how many promises have been broken? How many times that we've been put in a certain predicament and then tossed to the side? Come on, man. That's on y'all. That ain't on us, man. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. Please believe that.
Check-ins, and all officials are saying is it's for security reasons. No details, no chance to appeal.
Bro, that's what I mean, guys. These people do not study anything. They just hop on here complaining, crying, all this other stuff without doing the research. Bro, they said that they specifically are doing this from a safety concern standpoint because of the terrorist groups that are already here and they don't want any more. They're catching people trying to plan terrorist attacks. They're catching people doing all types of BS. And you guys will sit up here and play the fool. No. We will not allow you guys to willingly be ignorant when there is plenty of information that I just did on my own. I can Google this. Homie could have Googled this and said, let me Google and see exactly why they're saying it's a safety concern. And he would have found out that, hey, your Boko Haram people, they're on alert about that. And they don't want that to come or be even a risk of it to get here. So that is a part of why they're cutting off the visas, on top of people overstaying their visas and scamming their way here. Okay?
Just completely canceled. From what I heard, they're using an old law that lets you revoke visas if they find new information, but they're not saying what this new information is.
Listen, guys, this is a young brother who just don't get it. All right? Do your research, homie. Go out here and do your research, homie. Go out here and figure out what's going on. Go out here and not be so ignorant to what's happening. Do your research. Do not allow yourself to be this ignorant on the internet when all of these points that he's making can be easily debunked with one Google search. With one Google search, all right? Even a YouTube search, all right? Go on YouTube and put in Nigerians travel ban. Nigerians cancels immigration. Nigerians immigration. And it will be videos, millions of videos right there for you to be able to educate yourself about what's going on for real.
It's not just Nigerians either. They say that this law applies to millions worldwide. It's just at the moment, Nigerians is just the people who are getting hit the hardest.
That's also easily debunked when I mentioned it was the Sudan. It was also Niger. It was a lot. Burkina Faso. Okay. There was a lot of countries who were a part of this. And that's why it's so sad, man, because this is what happens when you don't do your research. This is what happens when you act like you know everything. This is what happens when you do not respect your enemy enough to do the research and look out for things for yourself. It's crazy, man.
But what do y'all think? Do y'all think this is really about security, or is there something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about?
This just in, the US has pretty much banned Nigerian immigration to the country. And this is not like that previous ban where they banned immigrant visas, meaning that if you were trying to get a green card, you weren't allowed to do that anymore, but there were exceptions. No. This one, they even banned visitor visa. They banned student visas, and they actually cited falsifying student records and grades to get into the States as one of the reasons.
Boom. Hold on. Let me drop a bomb on that. Okay. This is a part of it. The scam culture. Okay. This is not just them singling out people. Okay. This is research done by the FBI, by ICE, immigration at large. Okay. When they were going through the whole situation with Somalis, they saw how much falsified documents were being put on, and then they're like, hold up, all this is false, all this is fake, what is going on? And then boom, now you have this where they're saying that people were coming over here on student visas with fake grades, okay? Fake grades, fake documents, all right? Crazy, man.
They mentioned marriage fraud as one of the reasons why they are stopping green card filings for Nigerians.
Listen, man, we already saw Ilhan Omar marry her brother. All right, Ilhan Omar married her brother in plain sight, and people are still trying to figure out how she is here underneath that. Okay, how her brother is here underneath that. Okay, these are a part of why a lot of people have a problem with what's going on with Africans coming to America, because there is a lot of very shady things going on, and a lot of people are not okay with it. Justifiably so. All right.
You mentioned overstaying visas for one of the reasons why they are no longer issuing visitors visa. Now, of course, if you have a valid visa, they say you can still get in. If you have a green card, they say you can still get in. And if you have particular interest to the country, and they gave the example, athlete. If you don't know why I'm raising my eyebrows, you might want to go look up Colin Kaepernick and find out why they keep importing Black people into America to enter.
Listen, man, we ain't even gonna talk about Cap because y'all crucified Cap. Y'all said that Cap was un-American. Y'all said that Cap was doing too much, right? He was speaking on police brutality that Black Americans was going through. He put his whole career on the line for us, and they crucified him. All right, people still talk down on Cap like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to for his people. All right, salute to Cap. I know Cap personally. All right. So the fact that a lot of people went out of their way to talk down on him and to make him the villain out here, nah, you don't get to mention Cap, because Cap made the ultimate sacrifice as a Black American, okay? One of the top quarterbacks in the league at the time, all right? He went through hell because of that, okay? To stand on business for Black Americans, all right? So now you got these people coming over here talking about they don't know what's going on and this or that. It's over, family. Too bad, so sad, man. I really, really do have empathy towards people and what they go through in the dark times. But in reality, as Black Americans, man, we have a focus. We have certain things that we have to do right now, and we got to stay aligned on that. Unfortunately, Nigerians, y'all got to figure it out, man, because it's not looking good, y'all. It's not. And I hope the best. You know what I'm saying? I do. But in reality, you know, this isn't even year one. Okay. This isn't even year one. Okay. So we're going to wait it out and see, man, because there's a lot that can happen. There's more that's going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's only going to ramp up. That's all I'm saying, guys. So with that being said, hey, man, you know, like I said, I'm a business owner, so I got to get back to the money. But salute to everybody out there, man. I appreciate all of you guys who come through, who show love, who have been subscribing, who have been leaving comments. All of you guys, I really appreciate y'all, man, because it blows my mind that anybody would ever care about what I have to say, right? I have a lot of information. I have a lot of things in my head that I want to put out there. And I've used this platform to do that. And I'm only so grateful for all of you guys who come here and spend time with me, who want to hear what I got to say, who are subscribed to me, who like my videos, who comment on my videos and are engaged in my content. So much love to all you guys. Much gratitude and appreciation, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, right? Make sure you guys come through and show love to your boy, man. We love everything about this, and we're going to keep our foot on the gas. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs. So you guys make sure to subscribe, man. Make sure to show love to your boy, man. If you like content like this, if you enjoy real talk, real conversations, subscribe to your boy Brandon B. Subscribe to Elite Media Co. Please. It helps us grow. It helps us stay in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know how these algorithms work, okay? Y'all know. So make sure you like, man. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Brandon B. This is Elite Media, man, and I'm out. Peace.